G'day everybody, I should be doing chores, but here I am playing video games and sharing them with the people of the internet. In today's episode, we are gonna get going with our own lot here, which we're currently borrowing from the shop. We have our new John Deere 710 barn find tractor, we have a seeder, we have a cultivator, and we have 2,849 euros in the bank. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do today is have a look at cutting down all of the grass that's in this field here and getting it ready to do some seeding. But do remember that because we cut down a bunch of trees, we're likely to find those tree stumps along the way here, so we're going to need to think about leasing a stump grinder for our tractor here to cut those stumps out before we can plow it in. We're going to also need access to a plow that our 70 horsepower tractor here can handle. I don't think our cultivator is up to the job of loosening up that soil for the very first time. It looks fairly compacted in here, so I think we're going to definitely need a plow. And then I think we could look at baling this up and getting it ready for selling off the lot here. There's a couple of hobby farmers around here that just need a little bit of cheap grass and supplemental feed for their animals, so we could bale that up for them. And having that equipment around for us would be super handy to bale up the grass if we have our own animals at some point as well. So with that in mind, let's get into the shop and see what we can find. Alright, so I've just been having a bit of a look in the shop, and I've had an idea on what we can do here to get started for today. So the first thing I'd like to do is mow that grass, and there is a mower on sale in the sale, but it's only 1.8 meters wide. So that's this guy just down here. So 2,500, which we can afford, but it's only 1.8 meters wide. And I think a better idea for us right now would be to rent one that's a little bit wider and a little bit more in keeping with the size of tractor that we have. There is, however, something that would be very useful for us. That is this here windrower, which would fit on our tractor, and it is 53% off at 372 euros. That looks pretty good to me. So we'll pick that one up. And it comes in windrower mode and also tedder mode, so we can bring it to the shop to switch around. And that does mean that our tedder that I bought on sale could be traded in, and we'll get, I think, 47 euros back on that. So let's buy this one just in tedder mode right now. Okay, and we'll go and we'll return the tedder that we had bought and get our 47 euros back. Sell that one. Okay, now for a mower, I do have this double bar sickle bar mower. It only needs 60 horsepower to run. It has a 4-meter width and it operates at 25 kilometers per hour, which is too fast for me, but we will go ahead and lease that for 255 euros. Okay, so right now we have the equipment needed to mow the grass and ted it, and then we can windrow it up. We're going to also need a baler, so let's jump back into the shop, and under balers we've got a couple of hand options here. This is a really classic design actually that was used, which uses a manual push handle here to compress all of the bales, and then you can tie some strings and pull them out. And they're very effective actually, so I'm going to go ahead and buy this one. I've got a choice of main colors. I can choose John Deere green. That looks pretty fitting, so let's go ahead and buy that for 500 euros. Cool. Now, when I've baled all of this up, I've spoken to Katie over at the livestock dealership, and she said that the goats, they really love to have a variety of different plant matter to chew on. They're not as particular as cows around having grass. So something like this is actually great for the goats because it gives them a lot of opportunity for browsing on all these delicious varieties of biodiversity that we see in this field here. So she's actually really keen to get some bales in, and they're actually going to command a pretty good premium, which I'm happy about. Uh-oh. Disaster. Alright guys, we have hit our first chink in the armor here. This is a double sickle bar mower, and I have previously used the single sickle bar mower, but it looks like I don't have that mod installed on this server here. This particular mower is just outside the horsepower rating for this tractor. Let's jump into the menus and take a little look. Our tractor is rated for 50 horsepower, and this double sickle bar mower is requiring 60 horsepower, so 20% of our horsepower requirement here. We do have some other options, but I am very glad that we did not buy the mower which was in the sale, because it does have a 80 horsepower requirement, which is just far too much for our little tractor. But we do have a few options. We can lease this Disco 32, which is a 50 horsepower requirement, 3.2 meter width, or we can lease the swing arm here, which has a 40 horsepower requirement and a 2 meter width. Is a lot cheaper. Or we could go for a hand pushable tool, which has a 1.2 meter width and 8 kilometer speed. And you know what? I think because I've made this serious misjudgment in my calculations, we're going to grind this out the hard way. We're going to make up for that, and we're going to buy ourselves a hand pushable mower, and that will teach us. Of course, we are going to get it in John Deere green to match our tractor. And let's return the double bar mower and get stuck in again. Sad days. Alright, so to pay for my impetuousness in selecting a mower which exceeded the horsepower requirements of my tractor, we are going to grind this one out the hard way using hand tools. And we're going to be using here this self-propelled mower, self being myself to propel it, and it'll be a little bit slower, but we'll get it done. And my character is deciding to be extra tricky, pushing it backwards in paying penance for a job poorly done. Let's get rolling and we'll see you on the other side. Alright. Well, I definitely paid for my impetuous there with sweat. But look at how much we've got on the ground here. It's amazing. Some of those different weeds were growing up pretty high, and the goats are a browsing species, so they would love all of this good stuff. We also managed to find a little bit of bonus wood here that I'm going to have to get rid of before I can put any bales on this trailer. So I think the first thing that we'll do is quickly walk that down to the biomass plant, see what we can get for that little pile of wood there, and then we will have a look at attaching our new windrow, and we'll ted all that grass first to dry it out, and then we'll do some windrowing, and then we can look at baling it. It's very exciting. And just looking at how much is on the ground here, that's going to be a great yield. Alright, so we're just taking a little look here. Looks like the tedder is doing its job, flipping the grass over for us so it can dry on the underside. It's a beautiful day today, nice and warm, partly cloudy, so this grass is drying reasonably fast. I think we will be able to get this done in short order. Alright guys, here we are. Just doing a little bit of tidy up, make sure we've hit everything. The sheer amount of hay on the ground right now is just blowing my mind. Okay, well, we're finished now with tedding. We need to go and get this tedder to be transitioned now into a windrower. So I'm just going to roll up at the workshop here and ask the guys there to see if they can help me out for a few minutes. Or just lend me some tools. It shouldn't take too long to switch over. Alright, we'll put that in windrow mode. And while we're here, it's good to see that our tractor's only going to cost 134 euros to repair, so I'm actually just going to knock that out right now. The guys talked me into it in exchange for switching over the configuration of that windrow, and they also talked me into repairing that one for 34 euros. But we're all hooked up now and ready to go. Let's get this put into something of a pile. Nice neat rows, ready to bale. Alright guys, not good news on the trailer front. I did have a quick look in the shop and there's only really a couple of options available to us in the category for trailers or flatbed trailers, and both of the options are sitting around the 4 to 4,500 euros range, which is just a bit too steep for us right now. Our balance is only, fairly small. So I think rather than renting one of these and letting go of some of the profit that we're going to see from that effort in clearing the scrubby, weedy goat hay that we've just prepared, we're just going to do it by hand. And in fairness, Katie is only located just up here at the animal dealer, which is a short way for us down this side track from our own location. So it won't be any much more than carting wood down to the heat plant as far as distance goes. And I think we can preserve as much of our profit as possible. So for right now, let's get baling. Looks a little bit funny. I have done some updates to my mods today, and now when this is moving at full speed, my character is turning around. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but bear with me. This is still a rad little mod that makes these small bales, and the animations are pretty cool. So it seems to be happening with all of the hand tools that I've been operating today. Alright, we just had a quick chat to Katie. She said to drop them off right about here. And for that load, she gave us 582 euros. That's a pretty good deal, if you ask me. See you, Katie. We'll be back with another lot. I mean, I could do this all day long at this rate. That was a pretty good haul for our first load. I think we'll come back in here and load up. But that might do it for today's episode. We've achieved a fair bit today. A bit of hand mowing after my impetuous mistake leasing a mower that was requiring too much power for our poor John Deere 710. And I think that, you know, in the end, what we got made a lot of sense. I'll try and look for something else in the marketplace that I might be able to use with that tractor. But for now, that hand mower just did a great job. We've got now the ability to load up all of these remaining little bales here. I'm not sure exactly how many we made, but I'll sure be interested to see how much we make from them. We need to rent a stump grinder so that we can get rid of all of these stumps that are kicking around in this field. And then we will be able to plow this field up and seed it ready for its next project. Very exciting. As always, guys, I should be doing chores, but here I am playing video games and sharing it with people on the internet. Join me next time where we'll clear these bales and move on with our adventures. Until then, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to leave me some comments about what you liked about it or what you think could be done better, please feel free to let me know down below, and a like would go a long way in supporting this channel to grow. Cheers everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.